So you've done a whole lot for the community, and it's like just the culture right here.
It sounds good when you read it back out there. You try, you succeed, or you fail. And if you fail, you try again, you succeed. It's just, and enjoy the moment. Just enjoy it.
And welcome back to another episode of Unpleasant Thoughts. We have another great interview for y'all today. The Media Prince. You let them know about yourself quick a little bit.
So I'm an entertainment journalist, of course. Yeah, I'm from Washington, D.C. I started the Media Prince in 2015. Just to finally have my own platform and work with my degree. From there, I've been able to push great talent out that deserve to be seen. And thankfully, a lot of other people have liked it as well. So it's allowed me to do TV and radio and a vast amount of other things. But all in a nutshell, I'm an entertainment journalist.
All right. I mean, and not to say you're so short at all. It was, we see it from some of the accolades we've come up through. 15-time award winner.
Yeah.
You also have accreditations in the Washington Post, HBCU Buzz, Pride Magazine, Blank Canvas Magazine, and right here the DMV Zone 93.9.
Mm-hmm.
So you've done a lot, and you also won the DMV 35 under 35.
Yes, sir. So you created of it.
So you know you're the creator.
Hey, amen to that. Somebody did for that.
So you've done a whole lot for the community, and it's like just the culture right here.
It sounds good when you read it back out there.
That's just the tip of the iceberg.
I asked you what got you first interested in journalism?
So what's funny thing is I went to school to be a lawyer. And we had Pig Latin 101 class, and it was that class I was like, oh no.
That was hard.
Hard. I only went to 2 classes. Literally. It was one of those when God tells you that's not it for you, I answered because second class I already knew I'm gonna fail. It's like you can tell I'm gonna fail this class. And I said I'm gonna try one more class. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna fail this class, I dropped it. So a friend of mine said, pick up some electives in the communications building. I wasn't picking too much of them, so I picked Radio 101, photojournalism, and the Radio 101 class, his name was Professor Howard. He brought some people from the radio station in to the classroom and talked to us. And they brought giveaway stuff like hats, t-shirts, water bottles, flash drives. And then they started telling us about what they do. And they said, we're going to give you the class, all his classes, tickets to Trey Songz concert. This is back when Trey Songz was like,
that's like a right there.
It's like we getting tickets to the Trey Songz concert, and it was like backstage type stuff. Like I'm like, so I was like, dang, this is kind of a cool lifestyle. I don't think it was still clicking, but around about 2010 is when it started clicking. Like, you know, I think I like the media world. I want to see. I didn't know what avenue I wanted to do with it, but I knew I wanted to be in media and entertainment. It was just too lit.
Do you have like a favorite aspect of it? I know you do it all. Like your favorite.
It's probably like the moments where it's a few actually. First of all, is when you get to interview certain celebrities, like Fat Trail was like, wow, he was sitting on my couch, we interviewing. That was a big one that made me feel like, okay, bro, what you doing? You doing this, okay? That was the very first experience of me really feeling like, oh my goodness, I'm doing this for real. And he's a hometown hero, you know what I'm saying? That was like somebody that you would hope you interview, but you would never think you like, oh man, interviewing. So it was happening in my house, on my couch, and that was one. And then of course Megan Thee Stallion was like the next one. That was when it's like, okay.
That's when you knew it was like,
Yeah.
But see, you know,
It's
a lot
that's
of
a beautiful thing.
a lot of celebrities you mentioned, like, so like, what made you want to, like, you got into the door because you're like your friend eventually takes some other classes and things like that, right? So what made you stay? I know sometimes like eventually, but like, what made you like? You got Trey Songz, back pass. You was like, all right, cool. Then you got the Fat Trail. You know, some people have a drop, but what made you stay in it? Like, what made you keep going even though it was a drop of not getting the same, the same reward from putting in the work, going for it?
I liked it. I liked the combination. I love writing, first off. Like, I've been doing poetry and writing since I was young, so I've always loved literature and writing. I didn't want to do that for a living, but I liked how it combined those two worlds of doing, like, entertainment and writing, because I was going to school doing a lot of, like, PR work, writing, things of that nature. And I just like this. It just was like I'm going to just try this class. I think the beautiful thing about the communications department is it allowed you to try all different things. Like I got to do radio stuff, I got to do production stuff, we got to do music seminar classes, photojournalism, audio. It was like, you got to just do it all. I think that's what really allowed me to want to stay in it, because I got to get my feet wet in every facet of it.
So, you never really get bored with it.
You couldn't. It was no way. It was literally no way.
there's so much going on every single day that it's always.
Then they were introducing classes. At one point, we was like, damn, what y'all doing now? They gave us a visual arts department building. I'm like, well, at this point, I'm getting a new elective each year just to see what I'm doing.
That's fantastic. So I know, like, before you had your serious conversation with media friends, I looked up a little bit deep. You also was on something called Run the Talk Show. You did?
Ooh. No one's ever asked about
So
that.
that's like way back. I seen this before. The hair, like you had like you had it going. Detroit had a fast sense, but how did that start? Like that? Did that really keep it going? 'Cause I seen like one of your first things on YouTube I've seen.
I feel like the Run Up Talk Show was ahead of its time.
Okay.
It was and this is before we could even understand what podcast and talk show was, because at that time it was still.
People just going.
But we were talk show was comprised of me and my two best friends, and we share a common interest of entertainment in some facet. Not all doing the exact same thing, but we all have a nice, admiration for it. So we're all doing a talk show. We talk on the phone every day. Imagine somebody hearing our conversation. And I just really think we were ahead of our time, and I don't think we got I think the goal of what we wanted, like to that show today, would be.
Where are they? Bring it back.
It would be through the roof, and it was right before everybody, joined that peak of your podcasting or talk shows, or really creating your own and not waiting for nobody to give you the green light. But no, it was just a talk show between three friends, and we got to just really dive into pop culture in itself. And we had some big people on there. We had 3 Black on there. We had Big O on there. We had, it was so many. I'm looking back, it was like, wow. It's funny you mentioned that, because it came up on my YouTube history, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah,
don't even remember, but yeah.
You've been doing it for a while, though, right? You've been putting the ground in for a while, so I'm not gonna let that go to waste. Because you started, I was like, wow, you really was doing it from back before everybody kind of knew you getting the buzz and who you was in the city now today.
Crazy.
So what in the media world keeps you hungry for all of this? Like, because there's so much going on, there's so many different avenues of information you can take in that you can report on. What keeps you hungry? What's your bread and butter in the world?
I think, and me and my publicist just went out, we were just talking about this. It's like the opportunity, one, and then the fact that it's that opportunity that you're getting is off your own merit. You are the big name. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In this media world, you either Entertainment Tonight, Access Hollywood, BET, Viacom. Those are the big names. So to be able to say, we got this opportunity to be in the exact same room as those outlets, but off our name. That's the beautifulness that keeps me going with it. It's the opportunity to just say, wow, if I really just stick with this and keep going, don't give up on myself, we're gonna be in there.
Right. Staying with a big outlet, speaking of big outlets, you also TMZ Live.
Yeah.
How'd that come about?
Shout out to Shell J, another dope entrepreneur, content creator. She was also a writer for themediapress.com. She just sent me, she's like, hey, would you ever be interested in going on TMZ? And it's crazy because I used to see clips of other people on it, and I'm like, oh, that would be lit. But again, thinking, I don't even know which avenue to go to. I'm already emailing the wrong people. So she was like, you want to get on, would you like to be TMZ Live? I was like, sure. She sent me the information. That was in 2019, late 2018. I started my first episode in 2019, and then shoot, as you can see, 3 years later,
On fire.
on fire.
But like for people who don't know, like you did it. So like when I seen the one episode was 6 years ago. So from that time to the 3 year mark to who you are now, what steps and what doors open for you between it? I know you got to see a lot of backstage passes, and also you you're bettering yourself.
Right.
So it's like, did the opportunities come, or you go and go grab? I know you said somebody came to you with the TMZ opportunity, or was a little bit of both. I know sometimes you gotta get your foot in that door and don't let it close. And like, hey, I'm still here. My name is the Media Apprentice. This is what I do. This is what I represent. Some people shut the door and be like, I don't care who is. And some people will come to you with the opportunity, like, I see you working. So how do you go about both of those things?
It's still a little bit of both. I think early on, the first getting in was us kicking in the door. And I have, my publicist is Nigerian, so she don't really get, she's good, so she don't really care about the...
No.
Yeah, she don't really care about how we be admiring these celebrities here. She like, who you want? You want a picture or you want an interview? What you want? But it was that was the beginning of us just kicking in the door. And I think once they saw the content and what was happening, it was, of course, invites here and there. Like, and it still is. To this day, invites here and there. And also, it's still us having to kick in the door. Because I also say, due to all the success I still have, I still am an independent media company at the end of the day. So I do still have to fight to still be in these roles just because I'm an independent media company.
That's the nature of the beast.
That's just the nature of the beast. And you try, you succeed, or you fail. And if you fail, you try again until you succeed. And enjoy the moment. Just enjoy it. You get what I'm saying? Don't be too hard on yourself.
So what was one of the biggest events that you found yourself in, like
I'm here.
shit, I'm here.
Like, oh, it's that
Like,
room.
like,
It's that
what was that holy shit moment for you?
Here you go, about to make me think, going on a little buzz. Let's see. I'm gonna say the first one because it was yesterday, and I guess the first one, but I know it's more. Yesterday, I went to the YouTube Avenues event.
That's the Mobile one. Shout out.
And I actually got to talk to Leo Cohen. Like,
Oh yeah,
the big.
the boss man. Everybody talk about
That was like, I'm talking to the white guy.
Yeah, he got it. You hear his name to everybody.
And mind you, there is a crowd. There's a crowd of all of us. It's all important people in this room. But it's something about me that you came over and
Oh, he approached you.
yeah, like you look cool.
He said, "Ain't nobody
You
tell
know
me
what I'm saying?
at night."
I'll probably
Never felt cool after that.
yeah. Another one would probably be BET Awards was there. MTV Awards was there. Honestly, every event there at this point, I don't look at I'm just blessed at all of them right now. So if I get an invite to anything, you know what I'm saying, that's more than what I wasn't. So yeah, but it definitely, that was just the most vivid one that I could remember.
So your name, your brand name is the Media Prince.
Yes, sir.
So where did you come up with that? And if you consider yourself a media prince, who you consider the media king? Because you had to have had somebody like, this is the motherfucker I need to be like, or this is the motherfucker I need to surpass. Who was that person for you, and how did you come up with the name?
So I came up, God gave me the name, I promise you. Was no thoughts, no action, nothing. Media prince, literally. I wrote on Instagram, this is crazy because I got the picture. This is Instagram, back when it looked like Instagram.
That choppy shit.
Yeah, I was like working on mediaprince.com. Literally, that's what I wrote. And trying to make it seem like I was working in my craft. And that name was just like it. And who I think is the media king is this gentleman called Blogzilla. This brother is dynamic, and that's BLOGXILLA. This man is getting the job done on his own merit, and he's like really good in this media world. I feel like him and Gia Peppers are like showing you what can be done in this media realm, and I get thrilled watching it because it just gives me a sense of what I could possibly do. So,
I did too. And that just didn't get it all the way down like you got it.
But it's a beautiful thing because it opens up for more. I always look at the bigger picture. Like when you see a black successful journalist doing really well in the media world, you already know if that one is doing great, everyone's going to want another one. So that means that door is now open for me to possibly be seen. So yeah, that's what I would say the media king is though.
So to follow that question, like, does it come a lot of stress for being a journalist? Like, do you get like a lot of people coming at you like, well, I don't think you should have said that. I don't think you should have came that way about it or something. Like, you get a lot of backlash or do come a lot of stress. You like, I meant no harm. I was just reporting my news.
Thankfully, no. Well, with the Media Prince brand itself, I only focus on positivity in your craft. That's really all I care about. I don't care about your personal life. The money you got, none of that is important to me. It's what do you do in the world of art. When I made the Media Prince, it's funny. I made my blog I wanted to be the blogger that Beyonce felt comfortable interviewing with because she knew I was not going to ask about it in person. And that was, when I created it, it was in the height of like Perez Hilton, Nicole Mitchell,
Kim
that. Yeah. So,
reverse life.
Yeah, so
everyone was trying to get that inside scoop shit, and it was
crazy. So I wanted to make sure I stayed in that realm. And so only time I get a little messy is probably TMZ. TMZ is
the brand.
Yeah, it does fit the brand. And then I might celebrities might be a little mad too. I have a radio segment on 101.3 Jams called Let's Talk Entertainment. And that's just me filling in what's happening. But for the most part, I keep it very generic to where they really couldn't be mad at all. I'm just reporting.
Right. Yeah, this is what the news is. Like,
it was already out there.
Opinion on it.
I didn't write it like how the shade room or neighborhood talk said it. So you should be a little bit nicer.
Spice it up.
So can you tell us a little bit about that media conversations with the media press, and also got what's going on with DC. Tell us a little bit about those.
So conversations with the media press is sit-down interviews with just me. I get to talk one-on-one, artists, brands, whatever, and just dive into their story, ask them questions that could potentially help somebody else on their journey that are in the same realm or field as they are. We are on season 5 right now. And we've had some amazing guests. This season alone, we've had Roddy Rebel, Fabio Foreign, Destiny Payton from Love and Marriage, Huntsville. We have some more people in the bag. Well, over the past seasons, we have like Rico Nasty. We've had DJ Miles, her DJ. We've had Mims, This Is Why I'm Hot. Of course, we said Fat Trail. Ooh, it's a lot.
Can you give like one of your favorite interviews out of that? Out of your conversation, or what? Can you give like one of your favorite conversations, or one of your favorite people you interviewed from out of that?
Quicksilver.
So,
It was Fat Trevor at first, and I said Fat Trevor because that was the first time I saw him as an articulate black man. Not saying he never was that.
yeah, he don't fit the image right now.
Yeah, but when I sat down, I was like, this brother is smart. Like
He
that.
doesn't portray that in his.
Yeah. And then, but Quicksilver, that was recent. He was on season 5. No, we were on season 5. He was on season 4. And it just was great to see the guy behind what we know as on stage. Yeah, I got to really talk to him and just really learn his story, and it's history there too, because he's also from an era of like hip hop that a lot of us were either kids at that time or not really comprehending. So it just was nostalgia and history, and yeah, I was like, wow, I'm talking to Quicksilver.
Quicksilver interview. I remember one of his interviews. He was saying like how he first got his start. He was like some little after school type thing going on, and he asked his father to bring him to it, like just on some like I want to DJ this, I want to do something here. And his father was like, "This ain't gonna take you nowhere." And he got into it that first day, and he was like, "Oh, he got hooked." So I mean, I know how it feels when you get that first real taste of I'm in the right era, like I'm in the right area.
It feels good. It's y'all know what it is. It just it's a out of body experience that just feels like I love this.
Yeah, everything you were doing before it matters. You feel like it matters, like you didn't waste the time.
Facts.
Sometimes you do get those points, it pays off.
To ask, what was I guess one of your first moments where you're like you had to question yourself in your area? Like you like, I know God spoke to me and said I'm doing this, but was there any like what was an area of doubt that you had? Because everybody has doubts, it's human nature.
Oh, shoot. We have it all the time. It still doesn't go away. Again, it goes to the statement of I'm still an independent media, so certain, and we human too. You know what I'm saying? We just work hard to make sure that the human stays intact while we go through our everyday. But I have doubts all the time. Literally, like when I get denied stuff, and I'm like, well, I know y'all see my work. You follow me. I know you like. But there's in them times you just gotta work harder. So now look at doubt as just another avenue for us to do some more of this shit. Well, no, don't run away from doubts, and don't think you are less than because you have those doubts, because you're going to have them regardless. There's people that are big names that I have. When the camera goes off and you hear them really talking real life, you're like, dang. All right, so I ain't the only one out here doubting myself. I ain't out here tripping. We all have it. We just, we work hard to make sure it stays intact.
Some people hide it back.
Yeah, some people hide it very well.
You got Xbox. You got nominated for the Media Arts Awards.
It's coming up. Shout out to you.
For excellence in media arts.
Yes.
So you confident about them?
Whatever will be. I pray I get it. That's all I can do is pray I get it. And what will be. But I'm just honored in itself that I'm nominated. The Mayor Sox Awards.
Recognize you.
What was that moment like to see that like all your hard work's come to pass, like you're getting nominated for this? Like what's that moment like?
It definitely sent a joke through my body. I couldn't even hold you. It was one of those, like you said, those experimental feelings. It definitely just like, ooh, that's sweet right there. And I've been going to the Mayor Arts Awards for a while, man. That was just something. I was like in the room, like, dang, that would be nice. That would be nice. Not realizing, yeah, it will be, and you'll be nominated in a few years down the line. But just enjoy it while you're.
That's like you already being your energetic self, your loving self. You was already just going to support people.
Yeah.
So when your time comes around, the same thing, people will support you the same way. Then it's like, all right, my name's in the category. You know what I'm saying? My name is driving the names, get by Clap it up.
Even if I know my, they gonna say my name.
They gonna say my name.
Facts. That's the bigger picture. I'm
They
just
say my name.
excited to say I am a Mayor Arts Award nominee. Like that's something I can always just say. That's
That's how I
What?
feel celebrities. They like, I'm
that ain't nothing I would
Grammy
have thought of.
nominee. I don't care about I'm a Grammy nominee. Don't worry about what I did. I'm a
Right.
nominee.
Because it's stuff you would just never imagine. You.
Right, so let me tell you a little bit about your book. And then I was canceled.
Okay, so and then I was canceled so I have two. It's the first edition and the deluxe edition. So it's and then I was canceled. Motivational quotes for triumph and success. The first book had 200 quotes. 200 quotes. 200 quotes. The second book has 250 with prayers and also peer testimonials. My publicist has an excerpt. Co-host of mine has an excerpt, and there's a mental health interview in there with me and two dope brothers. So the first edition focused on regaining your strength and your power. I got canceled right in the heart of the pandemic, especially during the Clubhouse arena. And so it just sent me into a dark place. I started writing quotes to myself to just say. I just started saying stuff to myself every day. Next thing you know, I had a quote. So imagine if I'm getting lit off these sayings, how many other people can get lit off these sayings? So that was the first book.
Power to tongue.
Yeah, it is. And then the second book, I wanted to dive more into mental health just because that's where I had to really get into it with first to even write the first book. So I felt like with this book, I was able to really dive more into where I really stepped in mentally and how I, got that in order, how you should get yours in order. So then I added more quotes because I got more inspired. Then I added prayers because I just wanted to also pray for you while you read it. And then I wanted to also include other people in the book because it's great when you see your favorite people, but when you see somebody else as well featured in it, that it feels like, okay, it is a line of other people just like me that need someone, talking to.
So it's funny you bring up mental health because I myself haven't had a chance to read the second book yet, but I knew that it was dealing with mental health. Well, what was your mental health like when starting that book? Like, were you in a place where you felt like I could relate to a lot of other people? Like right now, like I know me, myself, I may not struggle with any mental health issues, but I do know I can at least, feel how other people are, how I'm feeling.
Right.
Were you in a place where you're like, oh, I finally get it. Like, I see where you're coming from and I can talk to you from this place. Or was it kind of a thing of like, I want to get to understand?
So the first book was I want to get to understand. The second book, I was at a great mental place in that book. I forgave myself and was at a good space with the second book to where I was able to read the first book and be like, dang.
That's a great saying in itself. You forgave yourself.
Yeah. When I reread the book at the second one, I was reading it and it didn't even feel like it was my story. It just felt like I was reading somebody else's story because I felt so detached from it because I forgave myself. So it didn't feel like it was my story. It felt like I was just reading somebody else's book. Like, dang, this is a really good book. And I was reading it as if I ain't write it. I was like, this is a really good book.
What happened next?
So I think at that point to it clicked like, okay, yeah, you did good with this because you've actually been able to enjoy the book and not even realize it shows you wrote it.
I feel like for most people, the pandemic was definitely a rebirth. Also, was showing them, hey, if they don't love you like you love yourself, but love yourself a little bit more, I guarantee you're going to get much as back as you put out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's big ups.
Yeah. And I said the pandemic allowed a lot of people to catch up to our wave because we've been doing this content stuff for a minute. And it's like when the pandemic hit, I'm like, I'm just seeing content over and over forever. I'm like, oh man, yeah. But it's beautiful now. I think now people really take into appreciation.
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Where do you get this fucking amazing fashion shows? You grew up in an area, never seen it. Never seen no else.
I was literally just about to ask, like,
Created
is
your
it hat
own
the
style.
Maryland flag?
Like if I see somebody else with
Nah, it's just a colorful
I'm
jacket.
just saying, if I see somebody else with your swag, I'm gonna tell you, it's show your swag. I'm gonna tell you, because I never seen nobody rock the shit you rock and do how you do with the patterns, the hat, the glasses, the chains. You know, you're ensemble. For real shit, if you made your, it's like a superhero outfit for me. It's like, you know what I'm saying? God, it's me. You know, I'm coming to save the day. I'm coming to give you the blessings of the news. How did you come up with that? I did it like shit. I'm gonna fight to rock anything I rock.
Honestly, that's DC in itself. Honestly, DC people, I've always felt like I've had style. I think the peak of me noticing it was in college.
College.
Everybody wanted to look like us. You get what I'm saying? And I think my fashion has just grown with the times. I do look back at some stuff and be like, wow, that was hideous, horrendous. But then I have to reflect, like, in that time.
It was the flash.
That was a flash. But the hat thing came months ago. Because when I did start medium press in 2015, I had my dreads and I cut them off. Then while I was regrowing my dreads again, it looked, the ugly stage.
The whole face.
I was like, I need something to cover this up, so the fedora, the hat became a thing. And that's when I realized people were noticing me more with the hats. They became, okay, let me get another hat. One hat has now turned into probably like 60 hats. And then I've included the buckets into it too as a play on it. Then now I've gotten into some spaces too where I wear my hair out every now and then just to, see if people can really
Is that you?
understand. Yeah, that's yeah.
Is that you?
It's not. It's the Clark Kent
I ain't know
Superman
that.
thing.
Goddamn, something different.
Like Superman with a hat.
Yeah.
Clark Kent got the locks out.
Yes. And then the style, I don't know. I just say I'm inspired by a lot of different people. And it's just how do I feel that day? And I ask, guide my head in the closet. Trust me, this is probably like the third try today.
Do you have like your own fashion brand coming out, or you thought about that?
No, but you might be speaking into an existence, so.
Because you know what I'm saying? I get a shirt like that, you know what I'm saying?
See, you might be speaking something to
Because
these
you
things.
gotta look that from the area, it's not an area looking like damn, it's swag. Can't you say it's not swag? You know how we do cut film. Now, you don't do straight red and straight black. You do patterns. You do this go with this and this go with that. You know what I'm saying? So I know the swag. I like the swag.
Yeah, but that's just us spirit. It's not just me here. It's other swaggy people like me that's here, and I'll be like, ooh, y'all putting it on. So it's just I just happen to be the one that people see. But it's a I feel like we got a nice little style here. It's either New York or DC. Honestly, falls with the fashion. So I think we put it on here. We got a sense of style. You know how they jack us. We see it.
I'm gonna say New Balances. We need to talk about that.
Let's say, as far as your work, do you travel with it a lot?
Yes. Yes, that's the beautiful thing about it.
Other than here, what's your favorite place to go? Work related lives.
I've had a lot of fun working in New York. I've had a lot of fun working in Atlanta. I've had a lot of fun working in LA.
Trifecta.
I've had fun working in Philly too. Of course, I had fun working in Charlotte. There's one place I want to go. I definitely want to do something in Houston, Texas. I'm just scouting the area because racism scares me.
What is one area that you thought is everything you named now, like, is a place that most people would think I want to go, I want to be here. What's the place that shocked you that you were surprised that you had a good time there?
Probably New York.
Shock you had most fun?
Yeah, we had a ball there.
It shocked you. You had a problem?
It shocked me how I knew I would have a ball there, but it shocked me how the level of it was consistent and it flowed in New York. We got the hotel, we got the parking, we got the food, we got the outing, we got the turn up, we got the outing, we got the it was just like, this is a really good damn trip.
because like New York is like historically a hectic city. It's my hometown, so I know.
Very hectic.
I'm from the Bronx. I know.
Very hectic. Oh my god.
So I mean, so yeah, I can see that.
I had a ball though, and I'm just like,
absolutely. So was it?
I got a ticket I still owe, but
don't go back. You know how you did the traffic law.
There are 3 constants in New York: death, taxes, and tickets.
no, just by accident, I didn't know this street was a camera street. This bridge was a fair.
Oh yeah.
No.
So as far as the brand, Media Prince, what's like the big picture for the ultimate goal for Witty Wonder?
So I would love for the Media Press to be its own website entity, like a billboard complex, where I have writers and hosts and content creators all around the world contributing to it and making a name for themselves so they can branch off. And then I would like to be doing TV segments like Entertainment Tonight, Extra, Access Hollywood, specifically Extra, something like that.
Extra.
That's the yeah. And then I'm doing big interviews every now and then, like Beyonce want to talk about her album, I do that. But for the most part, I have content creators, I have people that's just like doing it, and it's just like MediaPress.com, and it's
You have a brand.
yeah, it's just working. Then I'll come out when it's time for me to talk to like Jay-Z or Diddy. You know,
How you do the Vlad interviews, Vlad, how you talk to them.
right. That's the end goal. Until then, I'm just enjoying today. Like today, I'm getting. I ain't think I was gonna be getting interviewed. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like this, you don't even think that this could happen. You know when you start.
You didn't think this would happen either.
The same way you think about it, we thought about it the same way.
It's
like,
your turn.
You got it.
You interview, it's your turn. You know, that just means somebody appreciates you.
And right, you put that work in to get to the flowers now.
Somebody
Thank you.
Somebody see what you're doing, even if you want to promote, you've done enough now to somebody.
That's it.
I know 115 was like
On the cover track back in like 3rd grade, so.
yeah, but I say ribbon for awards.
So you got a case you built for your awards?
No, I have a ugly table.
He come and say, "Here you go, another one."
Another one. I'm glad you said that because now I'm like I should just get a show. Let's just do. I feel like building one. But I'm
you know what it is?
If
If you build that shelf, you feel better about it because then you put your awards on it. Like I did this, and I have this that I made to put these on.
And I need more spaces to fill up.
Yeah,
It makes you hungry.
Space.
It makes you hungry and makes sure you go fill it up.
I think y'all might have just added a new layer to the house. So that's about it.
It's gonna be a war for that one. It's gonna be a case for that one. It's gonna be a case
Stop
for that
past Walmart, Target, bro.
Hey, just make sure you invite us to the party. That's all.
Of course.
Right. So, like, you got anything you want to tell anybody before you wrap it up and
Anything you working on?
coming up, and besides season 5 or your stuff, any little bit of exclusive tidbit? I know you published already, but any exclusive.
What can you say that won't?
We got the DMV 35 under 35 coming out in October, the 3rd edition. The DMV Meta Media will be launching soon again for another initiative. Of course, season 5 will still be premiering, still new episodes coming out. We got a new episode coming out soon too, so it's just gonna be a continuation of that. More what's going on in DC every weekly, and that's just it. Consistent work, not stopping, and just you know what I'm saying. But those are the things that are on the horizon, and we're praying, fingers crossed, that we get this Mass Board.
Shout out to
That'll be
Can we vote?
the voting is done, so now it's up to it's up to the
powers that be.
the powers that be.
I'm
But we are thankful enough, yes. I need to be there.
I got my
RSVP. Perfect. So we're gonna be in the building.
So, if I put my Kanye, say, hey, Media Prince is earning this bull. You did all this, or I just want this. You got it. I know him personally. He about it. You're a real guy.
I'm
You're a
gonna
real
pass out if you do that.
I'm gonna get put out, but don't worry about it. Yeah.
I'm being oh, that's right.
You got a point, right?
Sorry, he's right.
They argue with it.
But no, shout out to y'all, 3 black men doing it for themselves.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you.
We've had some amazing guests on here. Y'all probably didn't think y'all would be doing this, and y'all doing it.
Hey, man. You know, sometimes I was just showing him a joint here, sitting on the couch back in '09, just sitting talking.
On the phone.
It was on the Facebook. I was looking, I was like, damn. You know, that's how you say, you know, before she had a name, man.
Yeah.
So that's what I tell them. I ain't stopping now.
Hey, it's no need because y'all gonna keep getting big. If you and Sunny in the city said this to me, and it stuck with me. She said, "If you work, it's going to happen. It has no choice but to, because you're working at it. If you are continuously working at it, it's going to happen because you're working at it. The moment you stop,
It stops.
it stops.
Yeah.
So, you know, it may not be today, and I know thanks to social media, you know, niggas be wanting to be by 5 p.m. tonight, and you just started 9 a.m. But a lot of these people that we think are overnight, they've been doing this for years. Like Z-Way, I don't know if y'all know about the black girl named Z-Way, had a show on Showtime, I believe, and she does like her quirky way of how she does interviews, just very like controversial but still entertaining. But she was like, it takes 10 years to really be an overnight success. And when you think about all the people that we look up to, and you look at their timeline, they really have been 10. So I'm at year 7, so I'm just gonna keep going at it. You know what I'm saying?
That's higher than a lot, though.
Yeah.
From that salary.
Nobody's how to knock. Most people give up in the first few years.
We can't. You cannot. If you give up, then it's like, well, then what you try for in the first place, then.
Right.
Don't I say like people like these or these basketball players, athletes make this marriage like, man, they give up their childhood, their teenage years, friendship, family,
They give up their life.
Yeah.
They get this. Of course, they deserve their millions. And they probably gonna get 10 years of their peak. That's it. Yeah, man. But your thing right now is longevity. Your thing right now is a journalist that should never fade. It will never fade. More blessings to you. And I appreciate you coming up here, friend.
Thank y'all for having me, and I wish all the blessings to y'all. You know, I'm gonna be one of the little guys. Wait till y'all get y'all gonna be like,
I don't know. It might be the
Giants. Y'all gonna be getting on here.
Nah, you might be the one.
And if you feel like that way, we'll never forget.
Because look, this might be mutually beneficial. You might,
Yeah, we might.
people see you
I'll
come
bet
on
you.
and they look at this like, you gotta look at them.
I'll fetch trail.
Right.
Yeah. That's an honor, man. Thank y'all.
Appreciate it again, bro.
Appreciate y'all.
It's the Unpleasant Thoughts. Your boy Slotty Got No Lie.
Shampoo, aka Big Shampoo.
And of course, Big Sugar Midnight.
And thank you again, Big Friends.
Thank y'all.